So from today, I will begin the classes with the traditional prayer that is spoken to Devi Saraswati in the Sanskrit grammar tradition. This prayer was composed by Lord Brahma, and I learned it with my Sanskrit guru as a child. And in fact, the story is quite funny because I went to Sri Kailas ashram without much knowledge of English even, nor Hindi, nor Sanskrit. So then we had the first class together. I had a private class, fortunately, because I wouldn't have understood anything in the public class. So then my teacher, Sri Swami Medhananda, he explained this shloka to me, and he explained every word to me. And the only thing I understood was that it was by Brahma. So I wrote, otherwise I didn't understand anything. So I wrote in my book, by Brahma. And I was very proud that I understood that. So I will chant this. Om Shuklam Brahma Vicharasara Paramamadhyam Jagadvyapinim Veena Pustakadharinim Abhayadam Jadyandhakarapaham Haste Sphatikamalikam Vidathatim Padmasane Samsthitam Vandetam Parameshwarim Bhagavatim Buddhipradam Sharadam. So Vande, I adore. Buddhi Pradam Sharadam. Sharada, she who is like the full moon in autumn, who gives Buddhi, Buddhi Prada, who is white and who is the essence of contemplating about the nature of absolute reality, Brahma Vichara Sara Paramam, who is primordial. She did not come into existence in the sense of that first she was not and then she became. She has always been. So Adyam Jagat Vyapinim, she pervades the whole world. Veena Pustakadharinim, she carries the Veena and the book. Abhayadam, she grants fearlessness. Jadya Andhakara Apaham, she removes the darkness of dullness from our minds. Haste Sphatika Malikam, and in her hand she holds a crystal mala, Vidathatim Padmasane Samsthitam, and she dwells upon a lotus, upon a seat of a lotus flower. Padmasane Samsthitam Vande Tam Parameshwarim, that supreme queen or supreme sovereign, Bhagavatim, the noble one. Bhagavati is the feminine equivalent of Bhagavan. Buddhi Pradam Sharadam. That is the shloka. So I will chant this each time, and with time you can also join in. So as always, we will begin with the letter of the alphabet. Now we have reached the letter Ka. Already the first consonant. I hope you can read it. Yes, very good. And I will go through some of the meanings that are given to Ka. Ka is one of the secret names of Mahakali, the ferocious form of Devi who consumes all the worlds, like fire consumes the fuel. Thus, Ka is also has the meaning of fiery light, Tejasa. And it is also a name of Kamadeva, so it is short for Kamadeva, the Lord of Love, which is quite interesting because Kamadeva was burned to ashes by Shiva's fierceful third eye when Kamadeva tried to distract Shiva from his samadhi, from his state of absolute meditation, transcendental absorption. But there was a purpose to this action of trying to distract Shiva, so that Shiva would see the beauty of Uma, the young Devi, and would then feel love for her, and that they would unite in order to give rise to Skanda, who could defeat the demon Taraka, a demon of darkness and ego. So there's a symbolic meaning there. The symbolic meaning is that the Kundalini energy in our body is Devi, and Shiva is the transcendental space here. And in order for them to unite, one practices yoga. And when this unification happens, then the darkness of ignorance is dispelled, is removed. So the story is not just an outer story, it is also an inner story. Another meaning of ka is prakashaka, that which illuminates. Another meaning is jaya, the victorious one. And another one is Prajapati. Prajapati is a name of Brahma, the Lord of beings. And we have Bhaskar Prajapati and Om Prajapati and Aruna Prajapati and Hitesh Prajapati. So you can use your surname and you can replace it with the letter Ka. And in Sanskrit, it means the same. Then Ka also means Srishti, creation, creativity, creation. And thus, in many mantras, it is used in that sense for creativity and creation. And then, of course, it is a name of Brahma, also Prajapati, as we have said, but also Brahma, the creator. It is also a name of Kameshwari. Kameshwari means the queen of desire or love, and is a form of Devi as well, related to the creative aspect. And it also means Ramana. Ramana means to delight, to enjoy. And thus Ramana Maharshi has that beautiful meaning in his name. There are other meanings as well, but these are the main ones. So now we have learned a lot of sandhis and cases, and at this stage of Sanskrit, one does a lot of practice of texts. So I will show you another text today, and we can discuss that together. If you have your charts of the different cases, so Rama and Devi and Palam, that would be good. Otherwise, I will share them on my screen. So now, here there is a text. And can I ask, is there anyone in this group who doesn't know how to read Devanagari? Please don't feel embarrassed if you don't know, because then I can also put this one next to it. But all right, so if everyone knows, then we can read in Devanagari. So let us, someone wrote, okay, only slowly. All right, then let's do it like this. Right, so now you can see below the first sentence. Maharaja Nagaryam Brahmana Grihe Brahmana Balah Shastrani Patanti. So in order to go word by word, you would need your charts, these charts here that I had sent you. We have Ramaha, then we have Radha, and we have Devi. So now Maharaja Nagaryam, this is the word Maharaja Nagaryam. And here you see it in English script, Roman script, Maharaja Nagaryam. This is what is called a compound. That means there are several words that have come together. One is, of course, Maharaja, which is easy to understand. You know that. The second word is Nagaryam. Now, if you don't know any Sanskrit, you will sort of guess, or if you know a little Sanskrit, or you think from Hindi or Gujarati or other Indian languages, you will sort of guess, oh, it might be related to Nagar, right? And then you would be on the right path. But in Sanskrit, you have to be very precise. So then you take your chart and you look. Which one is it? Oh, no, I'm in the wrong. Here. So you go back to this chart and you think, all right, which word ends like Nagaryam? I mean, sorry, which case here ends like Nagaryam? Can anyone suggest?
Seventh one.
The seventh case. And we learned in the previous lessons that the seventh case has which meaning?
Locative.
Where? Yeah, locative, yeah.
Locative, where, right? And then we become more precise already. Then you know, this is the seventh case of which word now? This is now the question. If Devyam is from the word Devi, then Nagaryam is from which word?
Nagari.
Nagari, exactly. And it is not from the word Nagara, which also means city. You understand? Because Nagara would become Nagari. It would be like Palam, not like Devi. So you have to go very precisely. And then you mark this as the seventh case, Maharaja Nagaryam. Now, would someone like to translate it?
In Maharaja's city.
In the Maharaja's city, yes, that's right. So the capital city, right? The city of the king. And then we have another word following that, Brahmana Grihe. And to understand Brahmana Grihe, you would have to look at the charts of words ending like Palam, because Griham is like Palam. And then you check here, which forms would be like Grihe. We have three. One is this one. Then we have the dual second case, and we have again the seventh case. And here, many students ask me, how will we know now? How do we know that it is not meant as a dual? How do we know that this is Grihe in the seventh case? Here you have to use common sense. Maharaja Nagaryam, in the city of the king. Why would we suddenly talk about two houses? Dual means two houses. So you have to use common sense. And sometimes indeed, in rare cases, it is not sure, it is not absolutely clear in Sanskrit, but this is very rare cases that it is not clear from the context. But in this context, it is totally clear that Brahmana Grihe is like Pale, seventh case. So now, would someone other than Mahalakshmi, like to try the translation of the word Brahmana Grihe? Anyone? Don't be shy. Even if you are not sure, just try anyway. Because if you never try, then you will never learn. Griham means house. Grihe is seventh case, which has the sense of where. So, Shilpaji, shall I throw you in the cold water?
So the Brahman.
So Brahmana is and Grihe.
Grihe lives or house.
In the house.
In the house.
And then together, Brahmana Grihe, what do you think?
The Brahman?
No, because it's one word. So it means you have to read it from behind. In the house.
The Brahman.
In the house of the Brahman.
Of the Brahman. Yeah, in the
Very
house
good.
of the Brahman. Yeah.
Very good. So now, and together, Maharaja Nagaryam, in the city of the king. And then Brahmana Grihe, in the house of a Brahmana. Right? Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shilpaji. Don't be shy. Good. And then we have Brahmana Bala. So now here again, instantly, we would have to find the right chart. This is again like Ramaha. Balaha is like Ramaha. And then you check if you don't know it by heart. If you know it by heart, you don't need to look at a chart. If you don't know it, then you look at the chart. Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha. Balaha, Balo, Balaha. Right? Then you know it is first case, but plural. And it is from the word Balaha, which means, anyone? Mahalakshmi, I know, I'm sure you know.
Children, many children.
Yes, many children, exactly. But
yeah,
here,
I had one doubt here.
Please.
Why not Radha chart here?
Yes, that's a good question. And it is a fair question if the Balaha are all girls. Because then it is Bala, Bale, Balaha. Then it could be the girls of the Brahman.
How would I know that here he is talking about boys? Why not girls when it is a neutral word?
It's not neutral, it's masculine here. You can only know it from the context, and in this story, actually, you can't know it. Because nowhere does the story give us a gender. So it could be the girls of the Brahmana, absolutely. It could be. Generally, we will translate Bala as children rather than boys. And when we take it in the meaning of children, then this is what Panini calls Sarvalinga Nama. It is, we use the masculine form, but not because we're talking about boys, but we use the masculine form in the sense of Sarvalinga. Sarvalinga means all genders.
Thank you. That was very interesting and crucial point. Thank you.
Yep, definitely, definitely. And it's a very valid question. Very good. So, Brahmana Balaha, someone said it, the children of the Brahman, right? Or of the Brahmanas, of the different Brahmins. And what are they doing? Shastrani patanti. So now for Shastrani, let me ask you, which chart do we need? Because you see, if I tell you the chart always.
Palam pale palan.
Thank you, Rameshji. Wonderful. Palam pale palani. Very good. So, because if I always tell you the chart, then it means for the rest of your life, you are bound every 2-3 weeks to join this class, right? And me too. So that means we are tied by golden chains. So if you know the charts, then one day you know it by yourself. So we need this chart, Palam pale palani. And here you see, there are two options now. One is that it is the first case, which answers the question who. The second, what. If we go back to the story, not who patanti means they are studying. It is not the scriptures who are studying, it is the scriptures which they are studying. Therefore, what case is shastrani? Is it first case or second case?
Second case.
Second
What
case.
scriptures?
Because the who is for balaha. Yeah. So balaha is in the first case because it answers the question, who is studying? Balah patanti. What are they studying? Shastrani patanti. So here we would mark second case. Now, would anyone like to venture a translation of the whole sentence? We have covered all the individual meanings. Rameshji, would you like to try?
Okay. In the city of Maharaja, children,
yes.
In the house,
Yes.
children are studying.
And what are they studying?
Shastram.
Shastram. Very good. They're studying the scriptures. And not just any children and not just any house, but Brahmana grihe, right? In the house of a Brahmana, the children of the Brahmanas are studying the scriptures. Good. So we have to go very precisely. Now, buddhya, we actually haven't covered, but it is similar. It is a short E ending. And I have not sent you the chart, but you also have to learn to sort of identify a case based on your own intuition. Since you know Devi with long E, which is very similar to short E, you can see which case it is. Buddhya is like?
Fifth case or sixth case, depending.
No, then it would have visarga. Buddhya has no visarga. If you look at
third case.
It is third case. Yes.
Case.
Let me try to place these next to each other so I don't have to jump back and forth. I'm not so good technically. Oh. Okay. Somehow, yes. So now we have the word buddhya. It is third case. And how is the third case used again? Do you remember? I mean, in what sense? What is the meaning of the third case?
Instrumental, by.
By, or with. So we have here buddhya. Oh, this has vanished. Hold on a moment. I hope you can still see this. Maharajanagariyam Brahmana grihe Brahmana bala shastrani patanti. Buddhya dharmadeshena So buddhya then means, buddhi means intelligence, and buddhya with intelligence. And then we have the word dharmadeshena. Now here, before we jump to thinking about the meaning, it is very important to get the steps right. The steps are always, we first have to think about the sandhi. Is there a sandhi here? And clearly there are two words. And the sandhi of a long a in a word has four options. A. It can be either dharma adeshena, or it can be dharma adeshena. Yes.
Dharma plus adeshena.
So this is dharma adeshena. And Then you think about the meaning. What does adesha mean?
Following.
Yes, adesha
Or
has the
this is
sense of,
order, maybe.
it
Order.
means instruction. It means an instruction. And dharma adeshena?
The one who is following the dharma.
No, it means the instruction about dharma.
Okay,
The
instruction.
instruction about dharma. Dharma adeshena means, so then, and with, now you think about the case. Adeshena. Anyone except Mahalakshmi, what case is this here? If you go back to the Rama chart, you will see it is, can only be one case.
Ramena.
Yes, Ramena. So Adeshena is also the third case. Yeah, like Buddhya. And then we can already translate Buddhya Dharma Adeshena, with intelligence, through the instruction about Dharma. Because they're studying the Shastras and they're not studying by themselves. They're studying, of course, under a teacher. That is always implied. So with intelligence, through the Adesha, through the instruction about Dharma, Jananti. Jananti. Would anyone like to guess? It's almost like in Hindi. Janna, to know. Jananti.
Knowledge.
Yes, they know. It is a verb and it means they know. Like in Hindi, jante hain. So they come to know. Jananti. And now what do they come to know? This is very easy now. Dharmena. What case? Again, you look here. Third case. So what is the meaning of dharmena then?
With the knowledge of dharma.
Yes, so no, not with the knowledge, just with dharma or through dharma. Dharmena punyam bhavati. Bhavati means there is. And punyam, I hope all of you know. If you have a Hindu background, you should know this word. Otherwise, that would be very sad. Does anyone not know punya? Punya means the merit that comes about through good actions. And not only the actions, but also thoughts and feelings and positive words and the practice of spiritual activities, but also charity. Anything that brings joy to others, helps others, is punya. And anything that is related to the deities, to the enlightened, the divine beings, brings punya. It comes from the root punya, which means to purify. And it literally means that which purifies. That which purifies the previous karmas, the previous vasanas. Because when they are purified, we are uplifted. That is called punyam. So dharmena punyam bhavati. And punyam is which case? It is like phalam, the first case. So how will you translate dharmena punyam bhavati?
By following dharma, you get punyam.
Yes. So now you are you're interpreting already, because very literally it is just through dharma there is punya. Yeah. So you can interpret, that's fine, that's all right. But it's good, sir, to first go very literal always in Sanskrit. And then in a next step to interpret. All right. So just through dharma, there is punya. Okay. Thank you. And now this is very simple. Adharmena cha apunyam bhavatiti. So that should be very simple because it's almost the same as the first sentence. And Mahalakshmi, what is the bhavatiti?
Will happen.
No. Here you have to think of sandhi. What sandhi could there be here?
Bhavati plus iti.
Exactly. Bhavati and iti. Iti.
Will end, maybe. I think will end.
No, no. Iti has, we use iti to it's like quotation marks. In English, we use, we begin the sentence with quotations and we end it with quotation marks, like when we are saying something. And in this case, we are saying, jananti, they know. Through their intelligence and through the instruction about dharma, they know. What do they know? That's why iti is there, because this here, this defines what they come to know. You understand?
Right.
So the iti marks this sentence here.
Okay, very interesting. Wow, okay.
And cha means?
End.
And. So adharmena, that should be simple for everyone. It is the opposite of dharma. There is a very practical tool in Sanskrit to say the opposite of something. You just add the word a in front. So if like the word nutana means fresh or new, and if I want to say not fresh, I say anutana. Yes? Vidya means knowledge or wisdom, and if I want to say the opposite, ignorance, I say avidya. It's a very simple tool. Dharmena punyam bhavati, adharmena cha apunyam bhavati. So apunyam is the opposite of punyam. Would someone like to venture a translation?
Sin?
Or just, instead of saying sin, we just say the non-punya, right? Or the absence of punya. Because you see, the word sin, of course, brings many other associations with it. But yes, of course, we can say sin, or we can say vice, or we can find many different words in English. But my experience is always that mostly the words from the Dharma scriptures cannot really be rendered in English. That's my experience as a translator. So I prefer actually to use the word punya and not to translate it, but to explain the word. That's my approach. After many, many years, and Siddhartha ji, my very good friend in India, who is a great Sanskrit scholar, he also agrees with this approach, that somehow it doesn't make sense to translate words that mean something else in English. Yeah. So through dharma, there is punya. Through adharma, there is the absence of punya, or the opposite of punya. Katham. Now we have a question mark here. Of course, in Sanskrit, there are no question marks. I'm just marking this here for you that you can realize this is a question. Katham means how. Katham. So now the teacher is explaining, or the text is explaining, how punya comes about through dharma. Dharmena sadhu matih bhavati. Let's start with again here. Dharmena, we already had. What case?
Third.
Third case. Sadhu matih. Sadhu matih. You don't have the E ending chart. I will send it to you later, but just intuitively, what do you think? It is like buddhi. Buddhi, it is just first case. Sadhu mati is first case. Bhavati again. And what do you think sadhu mati means?
Calm mind.
Yes, well, sadhu, maybe not so much calm as good. Sadhu has the sense of good. and mati is the mind. It is also, mati is a mental state, actually, a state of mind. So sadhu mati means a positive state of mind. Yeah, a good state of mind. And then we will translate how dharmena sadhu matihi bhavati. Very simple. How will you translate it?
Through dharma.
Yeah.
Through dharma, one receives a positive mental mind, state of mind.
Exactly. Very good. Wonderful. And then the next part of the sentence, sadhu matya cha sadhu karma bhavati. So here we go again, step by step. We think, what case is this? We know sadhu mati as a word already, but now the case has changed and we don't have the chart, but we know buddhya, and we know that it is a little similar to Devi. So we will see it is
through positivity.
So through the positive state of mind.
State of mind.
Exactly. Cha and sadhu karma bhavati. What is sadhu karma?
Good karma happens.
There is the good karma. There is the good action, the positive
Good
action.
actions.
Yeah.
Through positive actions.
So through dharma, or through the knowledge, because we said jananti before, but through dharma, there is a positive state of mind, and through the positive state of mind, there is a positive action. And then the next sentence requires the chart for the word karma. Karman actually is the word. I'll send you this later. This is called the stem or pratipadika. This is the word in its basic form. And then in the first case, it is karma. And then in the third case, it is karmana. So I'll send you this later. And you can see here now, karmana, sadhu karmana, punyam bhavati.
Of
So
good actions. Of good actions, you get punya.
the third case has the sense of through or with.
Through good action, you get punya.
There is punya. Very good. And then, thank you.
Can it be with good action?
With good action. Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Good actions lead to punya.
Yes, yes, that is right. And then someone else can try the last sentence. I mean, the last part of the sentence. Punyena cha deva agachanti. So for punyena, we go back to, we remember that punyam is like palam. So we go back to, and again we see it is third case. So punyena cha devaha agachanti. Who would like to try? Punyena cha devaha agachanti. Devaha, of course, is like Ramaha. Ramaha. So who would like to try? Yeah, Mahalakshmi?
Through punya, the gods will come.
Or they come. This is present tense. Agachanti is present tense. So they come.
Okay.
Yes, but very good. So third case punyena, and then first case plural devaha. And through punya, the devas come. And this is a very interesting point here. Many people don't generate punya in their life through positive states of mind, through positive activities, but they pray to gods. And from a scriptural point of view, that makes no sense, because the deities come through punya. Punya is what attracts the deities. Now, if we don't have punya, we can do lots of, we can go to the temples and we can do this and that, and we can ask for many things, but kuch nahi hoga. So people wonder, I've been doing all these activities, prayers, and nothing is happening. And they come to the conclusion that the gods don't exist, but they haven't fulfilled the basic qualification, which is punya, right? We need punya in order for the deities to come. So very important to understand this sequence. And how do we get punya? Through dharma and through sadhumati and through sadhu karma. Yeah. So this sequence is very important. And now we've moved quite fast, so we can almost finish this text. Ataha. Ataha means therefore, very important word to remember. Ataha. I think you also have it in sort of high-level Hindi, isn't it? We also say ataha. What about South Indian languages? Do you also use ataha? I almost understand many South Indian languages because there is so many Sanskrit words, but is ataha also used?
No, I can't remember using this word.
No? So maybe this is only in Hindi. Yeah. So now, ataha brahmana balaha iva. This word iva you don't know yet. Iva means like, but not like in the sense of to like someone, but it means like yatha, like. Brahmana balaha iva means like the children of the Brahmanas.
So you get to say that there is a word called Adanal because of that.
Adanal. And I'm sure that comes from ataha.
Probably. Okay.
Yes, I'm sure. Yes. So ataha brahmana balaha iva shastrani patata. Patata. I have sent the chart before. I don't have it here. I mean, I have it somewhere, but I'm not going to try to find it. Patata is imperative, prerana. It means when you instruct someone, study. Patha, patatam, patata. So it is an instruction here that you should study. You should study. What should you study? Can you look at the sentence? Ataha brahmana balaha iva. Like the Brahmana children.
Shastras.
Shastras patata. Therefore, you should study the Shastras like the children of the Brahmanas. Is the grammar clear?
Yeah.
And then it continues, udyogena patata. Now you already know patata. Patata means you should study. Udyogena. What case is it?
Third.
Again, third. Yes.
Third.
So udyogena patata. And what does udyoga mean?
Business.
Yes, it has the sense of, it means business, really?
Job.
Job.
That's very interesting. I always find this very interesting. How, after thousands of years, the meaning which the word takes on in the modern Indian languages, very interesting. In Sanskrit, udyoga means great effort. It means enthusiasm. And maybe the reason why it means business today is that's the only thing people make an effort for today, right? Is for business. Therefore, it has become synonymous with business. That's very good. But in Sanskrit, it actually means effort, enthusiasm. So, udyogena patata, study with enthusiasm. Bhaktya patata. We don't have the chart for bhakti, but you have identified previously buddhya, and you identified matya. So what case is bhaktya again?
Third case.
Third case. Yes. So like this, you will see with time, you will realize, oh, after some time, it's very easy to identify cases. It's just a question of practice. Abhyasena. Abhyasa means practice. Abhyasena, third case. Bhaktya patata. Study
With devotion.
with devotion.
Or through devotion.
Sada shastradesham acharata. Acharata, I'm sure you can guess from modern Indian languages.
Charya.
Putting in practice.
To put something into practice, to live according to, yeah, to have it in one's conduct. And Shastra Adesham, we had Adesham at the beginning of the text. Dharmadesha. Sada Shastradesham Acharata means, as Balmukunji said, put into practice the instruction of the Shastras. And not only once, but sada, always put the instruction of the Shastras into practice. Tena, through that. Tena is the third case of tat. Tat means that. You can see the connection. That in English, tat in Sanskrit. Even though there is thousands of years distance, still English has retained the word that. So close to tat. Tena, through that. Hridaye is what case? Seventh case. Thus it means in the heart. Dharma pushpam. That should be easy.
Flower of Dharma.
Flower of Dharma. Vikasishyati. Vikasishyati is the future of vikasati. Vikasati you should also be able to guess from modern Indian languages.
Progress.
Blossom.
Ah, I can see progress. I can understand where you get that from.
Vikasa.
Vikasa means to flourish. Vikasati means to flourish. And when we have progress, we are flourishing. I can see the connection. But very literally, it means to flourish. So, dharma pushpam vikasishyati means the flower of dharma will flourish. I have to finish in one moment because we have to go somewhere. But just the last sentence, punyam cha palishyati. Palishyati is the future tense of palati. That you should be able to guess as well.
Punyam will be received.
Fulfill.
Fulfill. No.
It will come to fruition, to fructify. Palam means a fruit, right? So as a verb, palati means to come to fruition, to fructify. Punyam cha palishyati. So through that in the heart, the flower of dharma will flourish and punya will come to fruition. Yes? So this little story gives you the full formula for a happy and good life. And not only this life, also in the next life. In Sanskrit, we have a formula, ihacha amutracha. Amutra means there. Here and there.
Share.
This is the formula for here and there. If you follow this, you have nothing to worry. Even if you have great suffering, great troubles in life, you will have the full formula for a good life here and a good life there. All right, so my dears, please remember the formula and I wish you a wonderful Sunday. Let us finish. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. See you soon.